Hi Dave, great to work with you out on the course yesterday. Obviously we discussed a lot of topics, so I'd just like to take this opportunity to let you have a look at your swing in a little bit more detail. I know it's standing up on the golf course, and also discuss a few points that I think you might want to consider working on in the coming weeks. We just look at you first of all from down the line. Super setup position, nice takeaway arms working in nicely, good position at the top. You can see the brilliant move through the ball. No attempt to flip at it with the hands as we come through. Really good position coming into the ball. No flip whatsoever. That drill you've been working on the range, keeping your arms straight and trying to extend more, has worked a treat. Club exiting there in a nice position for driver, just below the left shoulder. And if we look at it from face on, again, super setup position. We've dropped your tee height a little bit on this one, which has brought your ball back in your stance a fraction. With the super high tee, the ball was getting further forward, and with the position you're now arriving at impact, you don't need to have the tee that high to get the launch that you want. Superb position there at the top. You see the left knee working in as the right knee flexes or straightens. Super stacked position at the top, nice and centered over the middle of your stance. Good move forward now there. What I was saying yesterday is I just think you lack a little bit of spine tilt at that point. Both centres are sort of over the top of each other a little bit too much. And we can work on that a little bit more as we get the weeks coming into the season. From there now, good extension through. That's a massive improvement on what you were getting a few weeks ago. And you can see again the both legs straightening as you use the ground to create power. You're pushing up off the ground, extending nicely. And at this point, we're looking really good. If I was to pick one aspect still that I'd like to improve in your swing, it's the amount of wrist hinge that you create both on the way back and on the way down. We've always been a little bit static in the wrists, and we can see they're halfway back, not enough set. As a result, as we come down, there's not enough leverage, there's not enough angle here. But having said that, you don't really scoop at it, you just swing through nicely, very quiet with the wrists. But again, as we go into the finish, really we finish the swing at that point. But again, there's no wrist hinge. You can see here that the wrists have been too quiet. They haven't been recocked. If we look at it from down the target line, here now, there's no cocking in the wrist. Swing should be finished now with a little bit more wrist hinge. You get the club working in this position. However, what we now do is we sort of fold the arms to get the club into that finish. So the follow through really is a little bit of a false position. I'd like to see you finishing your swing here with a little bit more wrist hinge, and that wrist hinge can be created by working on that drill that you were doing previously, keeping the arms straight. We'd want to do that now, but in that position there, we'd want the wrist fully hinged. So we want to introduce a little bit more recocking of the wrist. That's going to also give you a little bit more club head speed. But overall, Dave, I'm just going to run it through again for you a couple of times in slow motion. Overall, swings come on brilliantly. Centered contact's the key. I mean, you find in the middle of the club face much more often than you were before. The club face is having much less manipulation through the hitting area than it was before. You can see that beautiful stack position at the top. I'll just take you back there and let you look at that. Great position, that. Absolutely first class. And if we look at it from down the line, again, arms in, left knee working out, right knee straightening. Good position at the top. You see the arms there, still on the rib cage. All the angles are good. Maybe don't quite get back into the posture as good as we could, but again, that's little things that we can work on as the season comes on. Super position coming into it. No flipping whatsoever. Really good control of the rate of closure of the golf club. Super finish. So that's the long game taken care of. Then we talked a little bit about your putting. Now I'm going to bring this up on the full screen for you and just play it through as we discussed. And the main thing really, Dave, is just to loosen things up. And I know you probably don't like watching this, but it's just a little bit stiff and a little bit rigid, and it just needs to be a little bit softer and a little bit more creative. It's more of a feel than anything. I think mechanically you've got quite a good putting stroke. I think that you just get a little bit too deliberate on things. I would have you standing a little bit closer, arms in a little bit more. But everything just needs softening up. Like I suggested, take a little look at Tiger in his prime, knocking some putts in. Have a look how much flow there is to his movements. Have a look how much flow there is to his routine. And if you do get a chance, you've probably already done it, get some footage of Seve up on YouTube and just watch the master at work. You'll see a lot of creativity and a lot of flair in everything he does regarding his short game. All in all, Dave, super session, looking in good shape going into the season, and I can't wait to work with you more and see some good results. Keep up the good work and speak soon. Well done.